Cool, and we are live.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Um, Welcome
Should
to
probably.
Sometimes Dungeons, Sometimes Dragons, where me and the wonderful Ben have a guest on every other Friday, where we do something completely random, completely off script, with very little planning ahead of time.
Oh yeah. We were just chatting about memes about 5 seconds before we went live. It was great.
What? What do you talk about? We are professionals here.
Totally.
We are 100% professional.
Wait, we're getting paid?
Andrew's like, I'm on the wrong stream.
You're getting paid? I'm not getting paid yet.
Um, One announcement is we will not have the rectification for the next 2 Fridays we are supposed to be on, as most of my lovely party has midterms. So we will be
Yay.
running one shots and everything else on the channel instead, in lieu of in lieu of that. So we will be here every Friday doing something. It just won't be the rectification until next month. Ben, I don't know if you had any announcements. Anything?
Make sure you come watch Beyond the Realms on Mondays.
Over
Which
on
Abby and
Dice
I are also on twitch.tv/Dice Cream Sandwich. It's going to be a big one this week because we are facing the Frost Maiden.
In addition to that,
Tarek is going to die
he's not
first.
going to die first. In addition to
Yep,
that,
Tarek is going to.
Dice Cream just launched his Patreon, so
Yes.
there is that as well. And we had another one. We had another announcement, which I'm sure Andrew would love to talk about with me. Is Corso D&D Corso launching the
Yes.
Kickstarter for Melee Ball, which is going to be
Yes.
phenomenal. So if you are not following Corso's Kickstarter for Melee Ball, please go do that. It's going to be amazing. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I'll put that in the chat for people.
Yes, throw the
Check
link up in
out.
chat.
Yes, I'm so excited. It's gonna be great.
Yeah. It's shaping up to be a really good Kickstarter. The
Mhm.
rewards are pretty
The
great.
rewards are amazing
Heck yeah.
because he's gonna do limited edition
Oh.
stuff. Oh no! Here's.
Oh, did you try and post a link? Send it
Andrew sent the
to
link.
one of us.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
It didn't yell at me that I couldn't do it.
It
Oh,
didn't
no.
yell at you, but it still said no.
Yeah, it just
It just made it look
It's
like you
posted
said a naughty word.
it's posted on my end. That's really funny.
Andrew, how could you? You're in my chat posting
I'm-
asterisks.
I mean, this is
I got it.
what I do.
There we go.
You're like, this is what I do.
Yeah, go check out that beautiful Kickstarter. It's gonna be great.
So Andrew, additionally, where can we
Yo.
find you, and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, I am Andrew. I am Baxter and Andrew on Twitch and TikTok. I guess I'm Baxter and Andrew in other places, but those are the only places I make content.
Fair.
I make, well, right now I'm not doing any TikTok content. I'm just posting clips from Twitch because I'm not haven't been drinking that creative juice, so I'm just cheating to beat
Same.
the algorithm and keep the clock alligator happy. But I'm doing a bunch of stuff. So I was actually writing it down so I didn't forget. So yeah, on Twitch I run Houses of Barovia, which is a Curse of Strahd themed campaign, but it's actually not Curse of Strahd at all. It's kind of a sequel to Curse of Strahd, so it doesn't spoil anything for you. That's 4 p.m. Sundays on
Curse of Big
twitch.tv/Baxter
Strahd.
Andrew. Yeah, it's 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so just for your time zones. And then on Mondays, I do Baxter's subclass tune-up, where I invite a guest similar to this, and then we tune up a subclass to make it more flavorful, more fun, whatever. And really interestingly, it runs 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so it rolls really nicely into Beyond the Realms, almost like I planned it that way.
Hey.
Weird. It's not like I watch it right before stream. Strange.
And then next week I'll have a test stream, so it'll be live, but it won't be like an official show. It'll just be me and the people hanging out. But I am doing a show called Baxter's Cellar of Madness Challenge, which is 4 p.m. on Tuesdays or 5 p.m. on
Bless you.
Tuesdays.
Thank you.
I haven't nailed the time down yet, but it'll be Tuesdays at 5. And it's American Ninja Warrior meets D&D.
Ooh.
So a party of 3 adventurers, 3 guests team up to try and get through 10 floors of dungeon as quickly as possible that I have designed and balanced very carefully, but I won't be piloting it. There will be a guest villain who will be taking the place, controlling the monsters and the traps, and they will be attempting to stop the party. And so it should be a really fun PvP experience.
Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of fun, actually.
So yeah, I have other things, but there's not really anything I can show for them. So I'm just gonna.
Fair enough. You're very busy. So, we were talking a little bit about monsters and balancing your monsters. So tell us a little bit. You say that you're very good at balancing your CRs for your parties. Tell us a little bit about how you would go about doing that.
So first off, the big thing with challenge rating is that it's a great system that Wizards designed, and they put in the back of the Dungeon Master's book, where like they've got the table and they've got the whole system for making it, and then they completely ignored it when they made their monsters. If you go, yeah, as you do, you make a system that don't use it. Because if you go and use their system to like analyze the challenge rating of a lot of their monsters, they don't line up. They just don't.
Do
like
as
the best
I say,
example I have
not
is,
as I do.
yeah. I think an ogre's like a
I've
challenge rating of
discovered
3,
that.
and it's actually a 1. So that's kind of the first thing, is realize that when people complain about challenge rating, it's very often because monsters don't have challenge rating. But yeah, they're challenge rating 2, and I think they end up being a 1.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. This is what you do then. This is how you make your millions in the D&D communities. You go through all the existing monsters and you redo the challenge ratings and just be like, there you go.
There you go.
Perfect.
This is how it actually is.
I'm sure I could get away with publishing a book like that. I'm sure Wizards would not be upset at all if you just took all of their monsters and just re-challenge it.
No. They wouldn't. No. What are you talking about? That's fine.
Never. What?
There's no problem with that. There is no legal problems with that at all.
I'm sure that falls within the fair use thing that they have, where you can publish stuff for D&D. I'm sure it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Ah.
Actually, it'd probably be fine if you just had adjusted challenge ratings and no stats. So it's like, here, use this with your monster manual. They might actually like that.
Yeah.
No, wait, hold on. I can make this work.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
we'll just rename everything. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah, this will be
slightly
fine.
different.
Just instead of, because that's you just do that. Then it's like, okay, I'm redoing the ogre challenge rating. What do I call it instead? They're just Shreks now. That's it. Every ogre is Shrek.
Every ogre is just a different name, Shrek name. So yeah, the table at the back and the system they use is pretty good. It's a little confusing the way they've worded it, but like the system is pretty good of like comparing to get pretty good challenge ratings for your party. The other thing is like challenge ratings based on like 8 to 12 encounters a day, and I don't know anyone who does that. I think the most I've done in a day is 8. So like
in a day?
yeah, that's what the game's balanced around, is 8 to 12 encounters a day. I
Yikes.
can't remember the exact numbers. It's like 4 to 6, or it's like 6 to 8 medium, 8 to 12 hard, easy, 6 to 8 hard, something like that. 4 to 6 hard. Like, yeah, it's designed around you playing a lot more D&D in a day than like you realistically
That's
either
insane.
have.
As much as everyone wishes they could play more D&D in a day, that's not necessarily how it pans out.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking of like some of the dungeon crawls where you're like, we've done what is the equivalent of like 3 hours of in-game time over like 4 sessions, and then you have sessions where it's like 4 days of in-game time over a single session.
Yeah, that was us beneath Wagons community, right, Ovi? Yeah, that was. Oh.
God.
So yeah, I prefer a lot of hard encounters in a day.
Very nice.
I mean, a fair few. They can be quick. Hard encounters can be quick. It's just how violent they are against the players.
It feels more challenging. I mean, that's the thing. Like, I feel like with if you put them up against a lot of small encounters, it would just kind of feel like you'd be steamrolling them all, and then it would also kind of feel like you not achieving that much. Like when you do a big encounter and you beat it, even if it takes the same amount of time as well, I mean, that's the thing. Like if you fight like 7 or 8 creatures that are all like CR1, and then you fight one that's like CR10, beating the CR10 one feels
Saying you fought a dragon sounds a lot cooler than I fought a swarm of goblins.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I like throwing the one low, like easy encounter at the party when they get to like 6 or 7. You know, you have that like stereotypical where they get ambushed by goblins or bandits or something, and then you have them get ambushed by goblins or bandits at 6 or 7, and they just like beat them, and they're like, "Oh, that's cool." It's like, yeah, now you feel good. I'm never gonna do this again because everyone's gonna look at you like, your weapons glow. You're wearing armor of like the cult of Dionysus, whatever. You're wearing this scary magic armor.
I cast synaptic static once; they're all dead.
Yeah, like I'm just not. I'm just not.
Yeah, no, not at all. But you have to give them a challenge where they feel accomplished enough that they've done something noteworthy.
Yeah, exactly. It's more fun for everybody, and
It's more fun for the DM to run as an encounter.
Yeah.
It's more fun for the party
Yeah.
to face and come up with, oh yeah, I beat this dragon instead of, oh yeah, I beat this goblin. But
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
very fair.
And then last with big bosses and challenge rating is a lot of people will be like, oh, I threw this challenge rating 12 monster at them. They one rounded. It's like, yeah, because it didn't have legendary resistances or legendary actions or lair actions, and so it did one thing a turn and it knocked someone out, and then it just ate. Then the party ate them. Like, you need to include that in your planning, and that goes into the challenge rating. But like a challenge rating 8
Yeah.
creature with legendary actions is very different from a challenge rating 8 creature that does not have legendary actions.
Oh, 100%. Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
Especially
Like,
when there aren't like ads as well, because then they are the main target, and like they roll low on initiative, and like it's over. Like you don't need to do the fight. The fight is just the admin part. Like you roll the initiative, and they're last, and it's like, right, cool. They're dead before they get a turn. Then, all right, cool.
yeah. all things, and then there's
Legendary
all sorts of
actions
weird
are
factors.
scary.
There's all sorts of factors too, like terrain and setup and stuff. I did a whole like series on it before I stopped doing my workshops. That was just like talking about how to balance challenge rating around it. But like, if you have like a hard encounter, but then it's like bandits, like they're a hard encounter and they're bandits attacking the party. It's like, oh, they've set up cover for themselves and they're ambushing the party. It's like, well, this is a very different encounter than if they were an easy set of bandits ambushing the party.
Yeah.
So it's part of the issues. But the big
Smart
thing is-
enemies.
Yeah, smart enemies. I don't know how the game factors that. But I have had a lot of success using challenge rating and making my enemies smart.
I think that's something that a lot of DMs forget when they're playing. It's like, oh yeah, this monster is going to do whatever, but they forget, oh cool, they're also thinking. Like, it's not just I'm going to throw an ogre at you. They're not thinking about anything else, or they're just thinking attack. They may be having strategy behind it, even if the party doesn't pick up on it. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of YouTubers have done really good talks on like when you go into making a counter, have like a goal for each side. Like, what do the players want? What do the monsters want? Because like it's
Yeah.
also just more interesting. Like, you have a pack of wolves attack the party. It's a lot more interesting if that pack of wolves is just trying to carry a player off. They're just trying to
Yeah.
take someone down and carry them off, than like fight to the death. Because why would they? They're predators. They're just here to eat.
Yeah.
they just want food.
So
Exactly.
more fun for
That's
you.
very true.
Cooler for
It
the
also
players.
gives you like options to get around it, because like it's like, oh yeah, cool, there's a pack of wolves, they're hungry, cool, their goal is food. Well, you've got some spare food going, so give it to them. Hey, you've beat the encounter without killing anyone.
Without having to
The
fight.
wolves are
over any
happy,
of that.
you're happy. One of your party members is still asleep. It's fine. They'll never know.
They'll never know.
Smart enemies is definitely something that I want to see a lot more of, because there's one in a campaign I watch a lot of. There's religiously, the spellcasters are always at risk, because like everyone knows by now, it's like, okay, yeah, the big strong people, just throw them at the front and like they'll get in the way and get in there and do all the melee hits, while the spellcasters kind of sit back and do long range spells and stuff. But in a lot of games I've started watching now, as soon as like a spellcaster, even if it's not directly targeting a creature, as soon as they like cast a spell, it's just like, cool, I need to take you down first, you're a spellcaster. And it's like, well, yeah, exactly. Like, the barbarian can be up there hitting you 3 times and doing like 30 damage, but when Squishy McGee over there has 40 HP, but he's doing like 100 damage around to you, who's the more high priority target?
Squishy McGee. I love that.
No.
Squishy McGee.
I had
Squishy McGee.
I was at a game shop and I had someone ask like, what's the point of archers in like a fantasy setting when you just have wizards? I'm like, wizard spells cap out at like 150 feet. Longbows have a 600-foot range.
I was about
Yeah.
to say.
You just start.
Yeah.
You just shoot the wizard.
Plus, spell slots are a thing.
Yeah.
Eventually, they're not going to
true.
be able to hit it at all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like
I have more arrows than you have spell slots. Let's
that
see
would
who
be
wins.
such a good liner for a ranger to a wizard. Or to a
Yeah.
warlock. Oh god, we're gonna have to remember that.
Yeah.
I'm also having slight flashbacks to like to Starship Troopers. It's like if the wizard can't use their hands, they can't cast spells.
That's one thing
Like, that's-
too. Like sometimes they don't have their hands free.
Mm. like even having enemies that have like something that I've played with the idea of is giving enemies like specifically like NPCs that are very much like, you know, members of the party, just giving them abilities that the party could straight up have. Like people think about that, like, oh, it's a wizard, let's just grab him and like cover his mouth, and now he can't do spells because, you know, he can't do somatic or verbal components. Just kidding, he has effectively Warcaster, he can just do it. This completely catches them off guard.
Yeah,
you know, it makes them
giving
interesting.
monsters feats, or like you don't have to get them class levels, but just going in and pulling class abilities out when they do something, and the player's like, "Wait a minute, what?" And you're like, "Oh yes."
Yes, they can do that. I think it's funny because the parties will normally look at something and be like, "Oh yeah, they have this set of actions they can do." But if it's something you've homebrewed, it's like, no, you don't know what's coming at you, which I think is a lot more important, since catching your parties by surprise is a lot of fun in that kind of regard.
Yeah,
that's why I love
vampires
homebrew
that
so
can
much.
heal is very funny. And then vampire walks up and you cleric spells. It's like, I'm sorry. What?
I'm sorry, what?
Who?
Like on the girls' campaign with the rectification that we run, you know, which is Take Its Break. The wizard they fought, Quill, he was actually a character. He's in my D&D Beyond. Like I set him up as an actual character with actual spells.
Yeah, no, you showed me Quill before.
He's impressive, but
yeah,
and it caught them off guard that he had this set of spells, and he had a couple of bonus things thrown in there because I can. And there's a reason for that, but I can't say. But
wait a minute, fireball? Yes,
fireball. It's funny when they think like, oh yeah, they're human, they have a sword, like it's fine. Bandits, no.
Oh yeah, I like the there's the bard, like the pre-made bard. I think it's in the Monster Manual. I can't remember what it's in. It's on D&D Beyond. It's one of them, and it's just like a monster bard character, and that's always funny to sneak that into the bandits because no one's ready for the bard to be, for suddenly one of the NPCs to be throwing out bardic inspirations and then like putting you to sleep or vicious mockering you.
Oh, that'd be so funny to watch.
that would be so good.
What if it's a party of thieves that are all bards that just as a group of NPCs that the party has to
yeah,
that's just a band.
I mean, you're right, but how funny would that be?
So
it's like, oh yeah, they're thieves. It's a group of bandits, and really they're just bards.
Yeah. You set up the random encounter, and it's like, yeah, so you're doing your watch, and then you start to hear music. It's weird. And then it's like, roll a wisdom save, because then it's just like, yeah, you're all put to sleep. They just come in and steal your stuff and leave.
That sounds like a great band.
Okay, but what if it's a poke band?
Yeah.
Because that to me would add insult to injury, and I think that would be really funny. It's a polka band. You start hearing polka music, and for the rest of the game, the party has PTSD from polka music.
Getting robbed by a polka band?
Yes, a literal band of thieves.
Perfect. I'm here for this. I love that energy.
So, with your monster that we're going to be making today, what is something you're going to be looking for or looking at creating for this?
So the monster is actually going to be the final boss of the Cellar of Madness test that I'm running. So a few of the requirements is it has to be a medium creature.
Okay.
And then it is going to be creature. Solo. So it's going to have the legendary things, including I have my own legendary initiative where basically bosses can never be less than 15.
Yes.
So they roll it, and like if their total's under 15, they just get a 15 for their initiative. So
gotcha.
that way they usually end up in the middle of the pact, or first for early fights, and then middle of the pact for the rest. So yeah, medium, legendary, probably gonna have some spell slots.
Okay.
And mobility.
Ooh,
interesting.
Yeah, because it's gonna be running around the dungeon with all these empty rooms, just running in and out, trying to distract the party from finding the gate so they can escape.
Very cool.
And what kind of CR were we looking at again? Was it
challenge rating 8.5.
8.5.
So like an 8, but like a little bit more than an 8.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spell slots. What did I say about
8.5.
8.5, which is not a thing. It's a tougher 8 or a weak 9, whichever.
However you want to look at it in terms of D&D 5e.
Yeah. Basically.
So yeah, but I didn't put any more thought into it than that. I was like, here's what I need,
Cool.
and then I'm like, well, I'm gonna let I'll let Ivy and Ben help me.
Oh, cool.
So it can-
Cool.
You wanted to
I was
have
like-
mobility. You wanted to have some spell slots. Possibly.
What type of dungeon is this?
Yeah.
This one's a pretty generic, like floor by floor dungeon crawl looking dungeon. Like it's just layers of dungeon. It's
Very
just one floor
cool.
after the other, 1 to 10. I'm gonna have a bunch of different ones that are all themed differently, but this is like here's your basic bitch dungeon.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. So an immediate idea, just thinking mobility and thinking kind of making that be so they're like hard to pin down. And then like having some spell slots in there, possibly some form of like arcane trickster rogue. That could be cool.
Well, that's an interesting one.
Yeah. Because then like as well, like if were you thinking adding legendary actions for this one?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Imagine that. Cool. He takes legendary action and just hides. Yeah. Because then it's like, well, you
Legendary
can't
action
just
hide.
attack it. Well,
Ducks into a room.
think about it that way. It sounds silly, but think about that. It's just like, okay, well, what are you gonna do? You're just gonna it gets to your turn. What are you gonna do? Where are they? You have to perception check. You have to find them. Straight after your turn, legendary action. They attack you. It's like
So this is a rousing game of hide and seek.
frustrating. Well, that would actually be kind of interesting. I like that.
Huh,
I like that. I do like that.
Interesting. Legendary
hot.
healing is always super frustrating, says our chat, which is correct.
Yeah.
You are
That is- yeah.
correct.
Oh, having healing as a legendary action.
Yeah.
Mm,
Legendary hide sounds evil.
the legendary hide sounds.
Legendary hide. God, I as a player would hate that.
Yeah, no, I would as well. Like, but it would make it interesting.
Mhm.
Like that's the thing. The reason we hate it is because it would make it interesting. It's like I just want to hit it. It's like you gotta find it.
Gotta find it. Find it first. Oh, I do like that. All right, I'm gonna look at. I am a fan of starting off and looking at like player classes and then using that as
Mhm.
like building a building base.
Cool.
Building
So
blocks.
what
Yeah.
kind of party are you looking at for this particular encounter?
It's actually going to be a it's Patrick Lawler, That Great Gentleman, and Dice Knight's melee ball team for
Oh,
the tournament.
nice.
for
They
Melee Madness, correct?
for Melee Madness, yeah.
Very cool.
Because they wanted to they had me I jokingly said when I was on melee ball, hey, I'm available to coach. Patrick's like, hey, do you want to come help our
You have
team?
to play hide and seek
And-
with the final boss first.
I like that they were like, "Do you want to come coach? Like, do you want me to coach?" And like, "Yes, please."
Corso instructed me to break his game. Those were exactly I'm like, if you let me, I'll break this game. He's like, all right, do it. I was like, all right, bet.
It's you gotta try.
So we'll see how this team does when it gets thrown in there. There's some stuff that we're like, we need to ask Corso how this works first.
Ooh,
Because there's stuff we're like, I don't know how this will be ruled,
very cool.
but it'll be good.
Melee Madness is starting on Monday, correct?
Monday, yeah.
Yeah.
For those of you who in our chat are not familiar, D&D Corso is going to be running Melee Madness over on the Lark Network starting Monday. It's 2 weeks of Melee Ball, and they're all different teams. It's like 24 different teams. It's gonna be ridiculous. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be wild.
And in that time, you can support his Kickstarter, which is Melee Madness. It's Melee Ball in board game or book form, depending. We'll see. But so their team. What is our team for not only their Melee Madness, but also for this encounter you're going to be running for them?
They have Snarl, but like the sound. They have a fighter archer,
Ooh.
and they have a bard multi-class with fighter. Yeah, it's bard fighter.
Ooh.
So they have like good utility. They have a lot of utility. They have utility across the board because it's a Battlemaster Ranger or fighter.
Ooh.
And then
very cool.
good damage potential, and then summons, which got nerfed a little bit, but like are still really strong. So yeah, it's
That's
sorry, I'm
great.
just writing down.
Such
I'm
a
also
good
just jotting down all of the things that Arcane Tricksters do because I love all of them.
Yeah.
They do a lot.
That's just all getting copy pasted onto this. Oh, but yeah, so it's gonna be fun. It's a good chance for them to build. It'll be a little modified because I'm not trying to beat them. So if they get knocked prone, they'll stand back up melee ball style, as opposed to
Cool.
the usual rule, which is if you get knocked out, or if you get killed, you can use time from your clock to revive because it's a timed event.
Fair enough.
Ah.
You can use your clock as a resource for short rests, one long rest per run, and then reviving dead teammates.
Very cool.
So yeah, it'll be fun. But yeah, they brought a really good balanced team. I think. I don't know if they have any counter spell. They wouldn't. So that'll be something they don't have to deal with. But they have good solutions for a lot of the problems.
Which is good in melee ball.
Yeah, and in the cellar. If you're going into the cellar, have solutions to problems, because the gist of it, I guess I'll lay this out because it'll help people kind of picture what we're building here. Is each floor there's an entry hall, and then each floor has a number of rooms equal to the floor you're on. So the first floor has one extra room, the entry hall and one, two and two, etc. And the goal is you have to find the key, which will be in a chest. And then you get the key to the door, and then you go down to the next floor. And it's rinse and repeat the whole way down, and then there's traps and monsters and such in the way.
So you're
And on the
basically Tower of Monsters, but this is a cellar.
But it's a cellar, yeah, because it's a
Very
cellar
cool.
underneath the tavern.
Ooh, that makes
Ah.
Yeah, that's like the whole branding thing is like the Tavern of Tales. That's where
I love that.
it's Tavern Tales, Houses of Barovia, because it's like me, the guy who works at the tavern, as a storyteller telling a story. And then Baxter got jealous of the yawning portal, so he made his own dungeon underneath. So it's not just the yawning portal was a dungeon underneath their tavern.
I love that. Love the lore. We love a good lore.
So yeah, and then you just made a challenge for people, and then there's a leaderboard and everything.
Love it.
Have like a little chalkboard for it. But yeah, so that's the idea. And then the 10th floor, the boss has the key. So you have to get the boss and you have to get the key from them. You don't have to kill the boss to get the key. You can take the key
Yeah.
if you can get it, but like you have to get the key from the boss and then get to the gate, open the gate up and get out. So
sneak the key from a rogue. Yes, that sounds
that's what I was
plausible.
thinking. That's why I thought this was such a great character. Well, especially because like they could use their mage hand. The rules for mage hand, the way I've written the rules for the key is you could use mage hand to take the key. So you're like, I got the key, and he's just like, all right, bonus action, take the key back, or legendary action.
Okay, even better. The boss keeps messing with them by sleight of handing, putting the key in their pocket. Like you beat him and you search his body at the end, and it's like, where's the key? It's like, he hasn't got it, and he just searches up. It's like, yeah, make a perception check. Yeah, it's in your back pocket. Weird. I don't know how I got that.
You had it the whole time. The key was inside you all along.
Oh no.
Okay. So I actually have 2 great legendary actions already. A mage hand and hide.
Legendary hide.
Yeah, legendary hide. which I love because it's like a really fun. It's like legendary hide. You mean like a magic item?
Oh, he's gonna take his legendary action to hide. Okay.
What?
Yeah, it's gone.
like, oh yeah, they teleport or anything else. It's like, no, he just hides.
Yeah, he's just like he runs into the other room and disappears.
Gone.
Oh.
Very Phantom of the Opera like.
Oh yeah.
Like that was honestly my first thought was very Phantom of the Opera like.
Excuse me. Well, I definitely am not going to use a Phantom of the Opera. For the token.
Oh yes.
That's
I'm here for this
that's kind of
energy.
what it struck me as. Like, oh yeah, he just runs and hides.
With a flourish of the cape.
You
Gone.
have to have the flourish. Like that's just how it
Oh,
is.
yeah.
You're a
Yes,
villain. You have
absolutely.
to have the cape. Like that's just how it is.
Legendary jazz hands.
Legendary jazz.
Really funny you say that, Triceratops, because it is actually a room full of doors. It's just a series of doors that all connect to each other. So you can just
yeah.
run out of the room into another room and just be like, disappear.
Flourish of the cape. Gone.
Having fun while making monsters is really important.
I
yeah,
agree.
100%.
I 100% agree because it can be so stressful sometimes.
Yeah. enjoy it.
Enjoy. It's the same with your world building. Like, try to enjoy it while you're doing it. Otherwise, it is just draining mentally and physically on you. It's rough.
Yeah.
Oh man, legendary jazz hands. Excuse me. Well, that's what his mage hand is
Legendary
now called.
jazz hands.
All right, so this is now a bard arcane trickster.
That tracks for me. Very
Arcane Trickster Bard.
arcane
Love it.
trickster bard. Well, because at first it doesn't sound super scary, but then you're gonna go against him and he's got these legendary jazz hands and legendary hide, and you're gonna be like, "What is
Just
this
the
character?"
whole time you're fighting this guy, the Mission Impossible theme plays in the background.
But it's him humming it.
He's humming. It.
You can't see him, but he's humming it, and it just echoes all around the room. It's
Oh,
like,
the soundtrack's gonna be Mission Impossible and James Bond.
Yes.
yeah.
Do 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 do. Is he humming his own? Oh God, he's humming his own theme
Is
music.
he humming his own? Just humming his own theme song.
I'm always in for any time I can reference the Emperor's New Groove. This is great.
Oh, same
Yep.
same quality.
Oh gosh. Okay. What college of bard?
Well, you could take one of the new ones from Tasha's. College of Eloquence. Since he has a flourish of the cape and jazz hands.
Oh, Unsettling Words is actually sick. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's a bardic inspiration. You pick a target within 60 feet, roll the bardic inspiration die. The creature must subtract the number rolled from the next saving throw it makes before the start of your next turn.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh. It's like, all right, so I'm gonna do this, and now I'm gonna put you to sleep, or Tasha's hideous laughter.
God,
Why are the monks?
God, the echo of the laughter, like in the rooms, would be ridiculous. The reverb
Just
on
Tasha's
that.
hideous laughter, and then you just leave. He's gonna make you laugh, and then he's just gonna let legendary action hide. He's gone.
I'm so excited for this character, honestly. Like, I'm so excited.
All right, I'm gonna go to
Get to the
Google
end.
now.
I can't kill you. You're too funny.
I can't kill you.
Just give us the key. I gave you the key. What?
I gave
It's in
you
your pocket.
jazz hands.
Oh my god! I just realized we've just made this final boss is just a magician, straight up.
Oh my god.
How did we miss that? That's exactly what it is.
Because we were too focused on the Phantom of the Opera.
We're here for the key. This key I have right in my hand.
this
If you
key.
take it, it just turns into just like a
a bird.
Yeah.
All right, so
So
now
that
Flourish of pigeons.
and his main like non-spellcasting attack is gonna be throwing cards at you.
The final boss
yeah.
is a tuxedo mask.
I had that image earlier. We're like flourish of the cape and leave, except this guy's gonna do something.
You didn't even do anything, and now I will take my leave. It's a magician, so it's Corso. You know?
You know what?
you want this key? Closes
Bet.
his hand. You just go to open it. It's just the word key.
Key.
It's like there you go. It's a key. I hate it. Why fight the final boss when he can fight you with mind
He's
tricks?
gonna be ridiculous. I'm kind of here for it.
I love it.
This is the energy I'm game for.
Because this is streamed, correct, Andrew?
Yeah. This will be streamed.
Okay,
'Cause this is
cool.
the
I
thing.
cannot wait to watch you DM
They're all
this individual.
they're all like fighters, right? They're all just like, right, we'll smash the thing. We'll just slice and dice, and we'll just get through it. It'll be fine. And it's just like, yes.
Like get to the
mind
10th floor.
games. Like, no.
I sure hope you have enough
What's
clock.
the-
Sure hope you were quick getting down here.
Yeah, right.
Mm,
This guy isn't gonna kill you, but like, I mean, he might, like eventually, but like, really, he's just here to waste your time.
Yeah.
Really though.
All right, I want to make a spell list now, like with this theme of like.
I kind of love it. I think he's great.
Yeah. I mean, the cool thing about this is I'm gonna take these characters and just use them as villains later.
Yeah, exactly.
Straight up.
Just
Straight
actually
up.
use them. It's like, yeah, the lore is the plot, and what I want to do is have people come in with their OCs and stuff. But the idea is that Baxter was like, "Yo, this is neutral ground for like heroes and villains. So if you're a villain and you want to come prove you're the best villain, come to the cellar, run the dungeon, beat the heroes, get your name on the board of villainy, like
Yeah.
get free drinks for life, and also get to prove you're the best villain ever."
Which is quite
That's
the title.
great.
Like,
I
it
love
really
that.
is. And you said you're having different DMs run it every time, correct?
Yeah, I'll be there refereeing, but yeah,
That's
it'll
really
be
cool. So who's
DMs.
going to be DMing?
I'm gonna do the first one just for the
Cool.
playtest.
Cool.
I need to sort out. I have a bunch of people interested. It's just everyone's trying to figure out their schedules.
Mm.
So
The
won't
real
be-
BBEG of any D&D is scheduling.
scheduling. So yeah, the first game, the 23rd, will be a test game, and then the 30th will be the first real game.
Okay, very cool. Over on
Yeah.
Baxter and Andrew, which is your Twitch, correct?
Yeah, Baxter and Andrew, twitch.tv/BaxterAndAndrew.
Very cool.
You just show up to the final dungeon. It's just a guy, and it's like he seems fine. And it's just like they just walk over to you. It's like, hey, just snaps his fingers. It's a Monday now. Oh no, I can't be here. I've got another
The
game
real
to play, and I
BBEG is the
can't go.
scheduling. I can't be here.
I don't have time to beat this guy. I have to go.
God, imagine putting your OCs on the schedule.
So yeah, that's the gist. Your OC's on a schedule is really funny to me though. I got here for this.
Like, oh no, I'm supposed to be over on Houses of Barovia. No.
Oh shit.
That honestly sounds. I might need to put that somewhere in the game, just for giggles.
Yeah. I actually invited Corso. It's funny we're talking about him. I was like, hey Corso, I know you're streaming like 16 days in a row. You want to stream 17? He's like, no, thank you. I'm like, no, you shouldn't. But it was
That's-
funny, huh?
But it was funny.
Oh boy. I have, I'm just doing spells real quick. Catapult and Dissonant Whispers so far.
Mm.
Expeditious Retreat. Wait. Wait, you can just do that as that's just being a rogue, but a spell.
What level is Fast Step spell wise? Because that's always a fun one to have, because that is just a bonus action that you can keep going as long as you keep
Fifth.
concentration.
Not impossible for a bad guy to have at this level, but like,
Hmm.
oh, it has to have Find Familiar. It has to have a Bunny Rabbit Familiar.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it has to. It's gotta have a
Yeah.
white rabbit that he can pull out of his hat.
Yeah, and then Flock of Familiars to
Do the pigeons.
To
Or
do
the
the
doves,
pigeons.
whatever.
Oh my
I
God.
feel
He
like
just-
it would change whatever his mood is.
Yeah.
He just takes off his hat. It's like, you want the key? It's in the hat. What?
Rabbit.
Just take out rabbit. Like, that's not a key. It just messes because these guys come in just like, all right, we're gonna fight this guy, and it's like,
I like-
especially at the end because they're gonna. It's the last floor, so they're gonna be like, I need to deal with this. And the other thing is that the DM can only control the floor the players are currently on, except for the monsters. So there's a mini boss on the 5th floor and the final boss on the 10th floor. So they can be
Yeah.
moving them around and having them pre-set up things before the
Hmm.
party gets there.
oh my God, that's great.
How much time are you planning to run these games in? From
For the moment, they have
levels.
2 hours, but like pausing all the time. If there's any rules questioned, anything comes up, it's an immediate pause.
Yeah.
It's one of the things about me not running the game is I can sit there and just watch the clock and be like, click. All right.
yeah, right.
Mhm.
Very cool.
So yeah, we'll see. The 2 hours is what I'm thinking. It might end up being 3. But that you can blitz some of the floors and not have to fight all the creatures, depending on how the DM handles it. So
Yeah.
Tasha's, can't forget. Actually, this is probably a good list of first level spells. I just have Catapult, Dissonant Whispers, and Find Familiar, because I'm picturing catapulting the key across the floor, like to the other side of the dungeon. They're like, we're about to make it! And you're like, nah.
No.
Bang.
I
Yeah.
love catapult. I don't think catapult
I-
gets utilized enough.
Just cast teleport on the key. Oh, it's back on the 5th floor. I haven't got it. I have to go all the way back up there and get
I
it.
just don't think that catapult gets used and utilized enough. Like
It does
it
not.
can be used for a lot of really cool things if you play your cards right.
Yeah.
But
My favorite is being a battle master, or anyone who can disarm. But battle master is the easiest one. Or now there's a feat for it. But you take the disarming strike maneuver, so you disarm them, and then you catapult their weapon away, and you're like, cool. I hope you didn't. Hi, big bad, who's a warrior. I hope you didn't need your sword because it's like 120 feet that way now.
it's like, oh,
Yeah.
weird.
I catapulted in the pit.
You're gonna have to like go past me. That's an opportunity of attack for me. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, Arthas.
Oh, wow.
Frostmourne is in another castle now.
Your weapon's in another castle.
See, this is what with the mini boss on level 5. This is what you do, right? You let them know. Oh, by the way, there's a mini boss on level 5. They get to level 5, they find nothing. It's just an empty room, and the door is open on the other side. They're like, something's wrong here. No, and then there's just nothing wrong. You go through it, and like, oh, there was a mini boss there. You get to the last floor, teleports the key. Yeah, it's up on the 5th floor now. You go back up to the 5th floor, and then the mini boss.
Then the mini boss.
We have a hydrate check. Thank you, Do Good.
Think you do good. Just really mess with them.
I
love it.
think having it's so funny to me because you have those monsters or those villains in your games that are either everyone's scared of this individual because like they're terrifying, they've done all these horrible acts, and then you just have the annoying ones. They're just like, God,
Yeah.
I hate dealing with this individual. I think this one falls a little under both. I think it's it's like, God, I hate
It
dealing
could
with
be
this
a
individual,
really
but also,
cool villain, but also like, can you not?
Can you
For
for 5 minutes? In the background, just like doves. Can you not for 5 minutes? Doves.
Wrist pocket is spell. No, you can't. You can't wrist pocket the key. The key is very much designed that you can't like take it to a different plane and stuff. It can't. It can't.
Yeah.
This dimension.
Dimension door the key away. That would suck.
It's back upstairs in the tavern.
Yeah, it just appears in Baxter's hands. He's like,
Oops.
Baxter, what?
Yeet.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, I think that this is going to be very much you one that they're like, God, could you not for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Could you have those ones that are also like really annoying, or like the party doesn't like fighting, but they love them as a character? I think that this
Yeah.
will be one of those where they're gonna
My God.
hate fighting them, but they're gonna love him as a character. Because
The last boss has the key, casts distort value on it, so it's like, this couldn't be the last key. It couldn't be. It's just like, it's a piece of wood.
It couldn't
How?
It can't be it. It couldn't be.
Couldn't be.
be. No,
There's just no plausible way that this key could work. It's not fancy enough.
it's not fancy.
This is so chaotic, and I love it.
I love this energy.
This is the best energy.
This is just gonna be your one shot, Ivy.
You know what? Bet.
I have a bag full of random things, and I'm going to use them.
I am very excited.
That is gonna be a fun
My
one.
favorite thing is I'm putting the bucket on something's head. A monster's getting the bucket on the head. That's just
Buckethead. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. I'm really excited because I've got 2 groups for that particular one shot, and one of them is Von Edgelord, Dadcore Heartthrob, Roven the Warlock, it's Ice Cream Sandwich, and the Super Goat.
this is just a bunch of sweethearts.
gonna be
So it's
wild.
it's a bunch of baby, like a sweet kind, and I've heard some of them, and the characters are ridiculous. I love Von Edgelord so damn much. They're making a snake oil salesman. It'll be great.
Oh man.
It'll be great.
Oh, that's so good.
It's gonna be chaos, and I'm so excited for that. Yeah.
Oh. All
Going
right, so
to
I got a spell list: Catapult, Discerning Whispers, Find Familiar, Flock of Familiar, Enlarge Reduce, Jim's Glowing Coin, and Major Image. Because Jim's Glowing Coin is too funny not to use.
Ooh, I like the major image too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're not really
100%.
gonna have to fight this guy. You just have to catch him.
I like the idea
Yeah.
that they're basically
Oh, he could be a
walking
rabbit.
up-
He could be the new rabbit
Yes!
race.
Yes, he could be the rabbit folk.
Oh
Yes.
my god, I was gonna
Yes.
ask about race too. I was like, what races are they? But yes, I like.
Oh my
the
god,
idea...
but we keep him as a magician. He swap places. He pulls a human out of his hat. it's one of the party members from a previous game that he beat. He just puts them in the hat. Oh my god, it's a secret 11th room. It's in the hat.
Oh my god. Oh my god. This is a mess,
All right.
and I love
I have a new lore too. So I haven't named this character yet, obviously,
Okay.
but this character actually helped Baxter. So Baxter's like a teddy bear, but he's like a really powerful wizard that's just made himself a teddy bear. So like in my homebrew, he's actually made there's Baxter's like spells, like there's Mordecai whatever. So there's Baxter's spells, and so now he's hired this magician to help him build the dungeon. So that's why the magician is the first final boss, because he's like, I gotta test this. I gotta make sure.
Yeah, you gotta make sure it's working. You know, you can't just say this
great.
and then not.
Oh, he needs. I love the magical hat. That's just gonna be an ability.
Is there a homebrew item that is just like a magician's hat? Because if not, someone
bag of holding.
disagree with that. Yeah, but no, like a bag of holding, yes, but like a magical like top hat. Because if not, that should be a thing. And I need to look at that.
I need this character in my life. Now I need to play a magician.
Yeah.
Now
It's
I need
just
to play.
a handy haversack, but shaped like a hat.
But you could like duplicate it, and
I
then
just
there'd
like
be
the idea that I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I think I need to put a magician in the girls' game, like just as an NPC somewhere.
Right?
Because I think that would be
Just to
hilarious.
mess with them.
Yeah, no, he's not there for any other particular reason. There's no quest line. There's no plot hook. There's just the magician.
oh, just have him show up periodically and just be rude.
Yeah.
We had so in a similar thing to this at the beginning of a campaign that I'm currently playing. It was one of the sessions that wasn't streamed. It was kind of like our session 0, although we had like 5 or 6 of them just because it was originally not going to be streamed, and then we started streaming it. But during like one of like the very first session, we went through kind of like similar challenges like this. And there was a room that was just a completely empty room, and there was just a gnome at the far end of the room, like guarding the door. And was basically like, you have to pay me to get through. So we paid him, and he disappeared, and we just went through. Turns out the door was open the whole time. We could just walk past him and got through.
But you paid him.
And we bring it up every time. It's great.
It's just so funny when you
Insight check your villains, guys.
Yeah.
Insight check people.
Insight
Hit
check
that insight
your
check
villains.
button.
Insight check every chance you get, whether you feel like
Oh.
you need to or not.
Bro, trying to insight check this bunny is gonna be impossible.
I insight check the rabbit. Like, because it would just be like a little twitch of the nose or something off, and they're like, okay, but what's that mean?
He has to have proficiency in deception, straight up. or
I'm just-
expertise, even.
He is a bard.
Yeah.
They're a bard. What if we do base it off Corso?
I just like the idea that
Corso, a rabbit person.
Corso as a rabbit person just cracks me up. Like,
All right, artists, let's go. I expect the nest flooded with this.
I'm going to find an artist I can commission. I'm like, okay, so like here's the individual, but I need them as a rabbit. Like, can you
Can you do this?
can you do this? Because the idea that Corso at 6'6" as a rabbit person is just hilarious to me. Like, this
6'6"
is
without ears.
Huge. 6'6" without ears. Like, that to me is insane.
Oh my god.
6'6", 6'10" with the ears.
6'2". Oh no.
Oh, this character's becoming a recurring character in my campaigns now.
Oh, I can't wait to see how that plays out, because he's going to be Corso's a rabbit confirmed. Correct.
It's confirmed on ID stream.
Confirmed. I just can't wait for people during Melee Madness to be like, "Course is a rabbit confirmed" in his chat and him not understand what's happening. Just like,
Triceratops, get on this.
what? I'm just like,
I know you'll be there.
this is true. I will be there as well, modding the chat, and I will allow every comment that says he's a rabbit.
I'm gonna start banning these people. It's like, nah.
It's like, no, they're fine.
Nah.
It's harmless.
All right, last spell, 5th level, Bigby's hand. Because for some reason, I just feel like that's a very magician-y spell.
Yeah.
What does it do?
Bigby's hand is the one that makes the giant arcane fist.
That makes sense.
And now I'm just picturing like when he creates Bigby's hand, he creates like a giant top hat, and the hand pulls itself out of the top hat before the top hat disappears.
Oh my god, yes. This is the most extra character, and I love them.
Yeah.
I love
Well,
them.
I don't like making villains that are like really basic.
No,
I'm like,
well-
they all have a thing.
But that's important to have with a villain or a monster or anything else, is you want the party
Oh my
to
God.
be intrigued with them. Like that's
Yeah.
part of
Okay.
that's like why Loki is such a much loved villain. It's
Yeah.
like, he's got
Yeah.
the charisma and the charm, and he's got his things like. You
Mm.
have
And
to
you're also
make
like,
him-
you're kind of not wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so put it this way. Instead of it being a giant fist, it's a giant's rabbit's foot.
Oh.
Then,
Yeah.
absolute mad lad.
Absolute mad
Son of a
lad.
bitch, I'm in.
You absolute mad lad.
Bigby's hand, more like Corso's rabbit foot. Corso's lucky rabbit foot.
Like Corso's giant rabbit.
I feel like Corso himself would hate everything about us. I love
Yeah,
it.
that's the best part. I spent 2 hours on a Corso do numbers for Kickstarter. I'm taking this win.
Oh my god.
I actually don't mind. It was a lot of
After the
fun.
trauma he's put me through on stream. This is fine. This is
Yeah,
just
no.
Oh my
feedback.
god.
No, like all villains have to have their things. They just have to.
Yeah, I really enjoy. I mean, this actually reminds me. I made a tell me you're non-binary before you're non-binary. I made a villain that was a non-binary leader of a circus.
I love that.
And it was like a whole found family thing, and their whole shtick was they'd made a bunch of packs as a warlock. So they had multiple packs.
Mhm.
Like one was like to an infernal, just to get they just wanted money. Like it was just to get a loan to bring the circus bag. It was a family circus, and it got destroyed. So they got a loan from an infernal to buy the circus bag, and then they got a loan from a fae to like help them read people's minds, so they could like help their people they want to bring along and like punish evildoers who had done bad things to their family. And then they'd got a great old one who had a celestial who had something else going on, and so like their whole villainous story is them going around and having to like doing things they don't really want to do, but they have to do it in order to help to keep these packs so they can keep their newfound family together.
Imagine the economy being so bad that you have to make warlock packs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
That's just real life.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And it's one of those things you look at them like, you're literally just drowning someone who's drowning in debt who's just trying to keep their family business open. This is the
And-
saddest villain ever.
Yeah, but like fair enough. Thank you for the stretch. Stretch. Oh,
I
boy.
have been reading that as Streech on every single stream I've been on your channel. I'm just like,
Streech.
Streech! I thought it was like a scream or something. I didn't do it. I didn't.
You know what? Also, yes.
Streech!
It's like,
Exactly, but it's stretching.
yeah. So does that mean I'm just gonna make it a thing on the stream? Like every time someone renames it, it's just you have to yell "re" at the same time.
Good. I'm glad I can help with this.
Makes it much more entertaining.
It really does. Oh, this character's so funny.
I love them. I love them so much.
I love that they're just here to just cause like chaos. They're not like a terrible person. They're just here to add a little spice.
They just want to
to
be
Yeah.
a magician.
Yeah. Oh, now we write a campaign where the villain is someone who wants to be a magician, but there's a pandemic going on.
You know?
So instead, they become a villain because they're like, well, this is another way to end up on stage, I guess.
Yeah.
This sounds familiar. Wonder who that could be.
Corso's gonna hate this.
Of course, today.
Or love it, or appreciate that we spent the entire stream making a character after Corso.
I think he'll it'll be a little bit of both. It'll be like, okay, I appreciate that the fact that you have given me like the acknowledgement, but also why this character?
Yeah, why am I a rabbit?
Well, why am I a rabbit? What type of rabbit is Corso? I'm gonna look up rabbit types. We're gonna find out. Types of rabbit. Let's find out. Because like there's the rabbits with the floppy ears, which are really cute. There's like
Corso was a rabbit.
Corso was a rabbit. What kind of rabbit would Corso be? There's some really cute ones too. Why do we all have scientific names? I don't want scientific rabbit names.
I want cute rabbit names. Is there one that's like got like is real like extra fuzzy?
Extra fuzzy.
Oh,
I know
Like
there
super
is.
fuzzy. Corso is got excellent hair, so it needs to
You're
be a
right,
rabbit
he
with
does.
excellent hair.
Hello, welcome in. Of course it does have excellent hair, because there's like the
Hello.
English lops, and those ones are the ones with the super super long ears, like they're
Oh.
way too long. So like, there's that one. The chat says yes, Corso definitely has floppy ears. Oh, I feel like that would be really cute poking out under his top hat too.
yep.
Oh gosh. Oh no. What have we done?
Okay, an English lop is the one with the super long. Super
I'm just
long ears.
waiting for Corso's name to appear in the chat.
feel
Because
like
someone
what-
said you guys were turning me into a rabbit.
Why are you turning me into a rabbit?
Corso is on an interview right now, so it's really
Ah.
good because it can't.
So we have picked the ideal time to turn Corso into a rabbit.
Pick the ideal time for it to
Also-
happen and it be done, and then Corso sees it afterwards.
Thank you, Library of Lost Tales, for your second sub for resubbing. We
Yeah,
appreciate you.
2 months.
Rabbit of villainy.
Rabbit ability.
Oh god.
I am. You know what? When our game starts up again, Ivy, I'm gonna throw this character at you guys. Just to mess with you. Viavel would hate this.
Violet would hate it. God, he'd absolutely despise him. Ugh. So, Andrew, while you are creating this lovely magician rabbit of Corso, do you have a favorite a homebrew that you've done before for a monster? Like, is there
Oh,
any that
wow.
stick out, like, specifically?
Yeah.
Wow, this one.
Yeah, so in 3rd edition, there was the book Exemplars of Evil? No, Elder Evils. Exemplar of Evil was a different one. And it had a bunch of like end game primordial threats, like the worm that walks, the planet that was never supposed to be, or something like that, or the unborn planet, or something like that. And then one of them is Ragnora, who's like this big, it's like a meteor that crashes into the earth and like they corrupt life. They're like you know how most primordials are like, oh, I'm killing everything. This was like, no, I'm gonna have everything like over explode in like evolution corruption kind of thing.
Ooh.
So
love
like
that.
plants that had like grown different plant parts and stuff like that. And so it was a really fun adventure. It was meant to be a COVID, or no, it was before COVID. But it was meant to be a kind of a short adventure, and then it just took off as a full campaign.
That's
And they were
okay.
hunting this vault that this guy had made when he raided the City of Gold, the Lizardmen City of Gold, and took all the golds. And like he went crazy and this whole thing. So anyway, it turns out at the end they get there.
So
and
is it
turns out
just the city now?
no, the city's gone. He sacked the
Oh.
city. He's the bad guy.
He's the
um,
bad guy.
But it turns out he had a sword the entire time, and it actually one of the warlock's pact weapon is Ragnora, but they don't know that.
Ooh.
And Mother Ragnora, like he falls unconscious in the water at one point when they're doing the boat and they get attacked by pirates, and like he drowns and Mother Ragnora saves him. So at the end, Mother Ragnora is the room. The whole boss is the room, and the fight starts off that you can't actually hurt Mother Ragnora at all. What you have to do is kill all of her plants, and as you deal damage to her plants, it damages her. And once she hits 0 hit points, her mythic phase starts using the new mythic rules from what is the source book called? Why am I having a problem with the source book name? It's the Odysseys, the Theros source book.
Oh, yeah.
They introduce mythic actions, and so then she pops up, and you can start attacking her, but she takes half damage. She's resistant to all damage unless you jump in her stomach, which is this big pit that you can go inside of, and like
Oh,
it's
damn.
acid damage and it's killing you slowly, but you can damage inside of it. And it was a super fun fight with like really fun mythic actions and legendary actions. And they had like the vampire pirate who was like the villain for the while, and then it turns out he just wants to stop being a vampire. He just wants to not be a vampire anymore. That's his whole lore. So they end up teaming up with them, and like yeah, it was sick. But it was a super fun fight. I do a lot of my bosses, especially big bosses. I played WoW since I was 12,
Oh wow.
and I was a big raider. So I do a lot of like MMO raid mechanic style fights. I look at a lot of those for. Sorry, my cat is just losing her mind.
As they do.
I mean, it's. I woke up early, so they got fed early. So it's not quite time to eat. But she's like, "It's time to eat now." I'm like, "It's not. You just got lucky this morning." But yeah, so that was my favorite character I've made. Boss that I can think of making was Mother Ragnara, because it was just this really fun, like capsize. There was a lot of like hints at what she was going on, and so when they finally have to deal with her, and they have to deal with her now because they opened the vault, and it's like, cool, y'all can leave. I'm gonna infest the world. And they're just like,
Fair.
I guess we can't leave. I guess we have to stop.
I guess
her.
we have to stop you. I guess.
I guess.
So, I
God.
guess it's actually this isn't really a self plug, but it's actually on all the stats for it are on D&D Beyond. I published it to D&D Beyond.
You are
Heck
more
yeah.
than welcome to have yourself plugs.
Yeah, I mean this doesn't help me at all. I don't get like views or anything off of it, but
No,
it's on. It's the whole thing is on D&D Beyond, and she's 438 hit points. So
Oh.
and you fight her. She's a challenge rating. She's no speed, obviously. She's a challenge rating 27. That they fought with 6 level 12s, I think,
Wow.
and the vampire helper. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Very cool. So do we want to take a break and then come back and finish this up?
Yeah. I guess after the break we could go into the
Yeah, 100%.
part of stats and stuff.
Perfect.
Doing-
Love the stats.
What you got there? Numbers?
What you got there? Numbers? Numbers in this economy? In D&D? Okay. All right, we will be back
Maths
in
in this game?
10-ish minutes.
Yeah.
Cool.
See you guys soon.
See you guys.
See you soon.
Hello.
Hello.
We're back.
Hello. Welcome back.
Hello, everybody. I hope you have stood up and stretched and hydrated yourself. If not, go do that right now.
Take your meds.
This is
Take
a
your meds.
threat. Yes. Yeah. Right?
Actually,
You know who I'm talking to.
You know who you are.
as I realize, I
who
almost.
you are.
Now, to be
Andrew's
fair, my
also
meds
like,
are painkillers, so like it
okay,
doesn't.
but
It's not the same.
also- But also, probably a good
But
thing.
I like not being in pain.
We do like not being in pain.
We do.
Yeah, it's a good. I highly recommend it if you can do it. Don't be in pain. All right, so we've got this arcane trickster bard who is a rabbit folk who's a magician. So everything's flavored to be magician. They're 6'6", 6'10" with the ears.
Oh my god.
We have legendary action hide, legendary action mage hand, which we're calling jazz hands,
Yep.
and legendary action. I don't know. I don't have a third legendary action yet.
Some form of teleport, maybe, in case people do decide to just
Pin him
go
down.
full old stabby stab.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Anyway, this is a wonderful character who I love very dearly
It's
now.
gonna be so much fun. So talking about challenge rating earlier, the big thing with challenge rating that I think a lot of people struggle with is like, what do I do if they have this effect, or what do I do if they have a lot of movement, or what if they can fly? And the reality is that that doesn't impact challenge rating. Challenge rating is how hard is the thing to kill, and anything that makes it harder to kill, so resistances, healing, whatever,
Mhm.
and how easy is it to kill the players. So damage output, its ability to hit, and then one thing that's not factored in that I usually just like factor in myself is like, does it have a reliable way to take someone out of fight? Like, are you playing Curse of Strahd and are you level 4 and is Strahd charming someone every turn instead of doing anything? Now the big thing is that in that case, I think Strahd can do it as a legendary action. But if it takes their entire turn, then you don't have to worry about it. Like if it's like, I can charm someone and take them out of the fight, or I could just knock someone unconscious by beating them up.
Right.
But it's if they can do a combination. If they can be like, oh, here's not Tasha's. Here's the the spell that's really good. That is an AoE and it's hypnotic pattern.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
can I hypnotic pattern and then do something else on my turn, or can I hypnotic pattern and reliably remove? So if they have the ability to reliably take someone out of a fight without dealing damage, and that doesn't take up, like, they couldn't just do damage instead, then I usually toss an extra point of CR on there, or round up.
Fair enough.
But generally speaking, CR is how hard is the thing to kill? Like, it's just pure numbers, and how good is it at killing people? Pure numbers.
Fair enough.
So yeah, speaking of numbers,
Speaking of numbers.
Speaking of the numbers, Mason, what do they mean?
what do they
Where are
mean?
they broadcast from?
A challenge rating, according to the advanced Danzy table we have at the back, a challenge rating 9 monster. Now there's ways to fact this without doing it this way. Is AC 16, 191 to 205 HP, plus 7 to hit, and does 57 to 62 damage per round. Average.
That's a lot of damage per round.
It is. Yeah, that's one of the things with challenge rating. It's like, oh, that monster got punked. It's like, yeah, that's because it does 20. And it has a challenge rating of 12. I'm looking at you, vampires.
I'm looking at
Like,
you.
it's almost like I've just redone a bunch of redone a bunch of vampires for no reason whatsoever.
I like how our chat is taking notes of CR, how much kill they have.
Yeah.
Correct.
But an L between the U and the T. I don't get it, Ben. I don't get it. An L between the Clutty?
Colty.
Wait, culty.
Colty.
Did I put it in the wrong place?
No, I just read it wrong. Oh, between the L.
No.
Oh, between the U and the T. I read it as between the L, and I was like, wait, hold on. Brain, no man.
To catch everyone up on what's happening in chat, I thought Nemo called me cutie, was actually culty, which makes a lot more sense with the campaign that she's doing.
What are you talking about, Ben? You're a Hello Kitty.
No,
Look how
this
adorable
is a
Ben
lie.
Look at
We
how
don't tell lies
adorable
on
that
this
Ben
stream.
is. Look at that.
Nope.
That
I
is
will
the
turn my
cutest.
camera off. Don't think
So
I won't.
cute.
I will.
No, you will
Nope.
mess up my layout.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to go? You want to go right here, right now?
We've got our
I will
ref.
pay. If you leave, I'll
Tarek's
pay
gonna
Dice
die
Cream to
first.
kill Farrell first. Just to spite you.
Wow.
And I only say that because as much as I don't want either to die, I know Ivy would rather die first. So I know I'm safe here.
I like that you say you're savior. That's funny. All right. So speaking of numbers, to get us back
Yeah,
on track.
numbers. I mean, I feel like this character is going to do a lot less damage in a turn. But this might be one of those moments where you take a less challenge rating monster and you just fight it well with the train and its advantage. And time, in this case. Doesn't have to be brawly. So, like, I think I'm okay with it having 191 to 205 hit points.
Yeah.
I'm just going to fill in some of these numbers so I can save.
So after you make a creature, and compared to when it's in combat, how much do you normally fudge things while you're in combat? Whether you've made it not balanced enough or it's just not working. What would you think? Do you often have to adjust it while in game after you've created something?
I want to say no, because after 20 years, no. But yeah, until like 2 years ago, it's a lot of like kind of adjusting as you go.
But I think that's just most things of being a DM anyways.
Yeah, and like you don't want like sometimes it's like everyone has their own thing. I know some people hate like learning that like there have been dice manipulation and stuff, but like I always feel like I'm always a storyteller first. So for me, I'm like I want this to be a cool story. So if they're gonna start punking the monster and I didn't give it enough hit points, then like especially when you're balancing once people have magic items and stuff, and there's ways to do that, but it's not reliable. You just kind of have to eyeball it and be like, oh, you're level 7, but you're actually level 10 with the magic items you have.
Yeah.
As a party. So then it's like, okay, cool, like upgrade that way. But yeah, I mean, if they just, I've definitely had monsters where they blew them up in a turn or two way faster than I thought. And I was like, well, this is going to have another 260 hit points, I guess.
I like
was very
in the chat just said
specific.
that Andrew's 17, and that made me laugh a little bit.
All right. I'm going to take that as a win.
You should, as you should. Oh. They're like, I know they aren't, but they look it.
Thank you.
Like, yeah,
How old do I look?
your baby.
Yeah, so you're playing a dangerous game
Your
now.
baby, Ben.
You now got to guess how. You now got to say how
Ben,
old
your
all of
baby.
us look.
Your baby.
Ben is
No.
12.
Ben is 12. Actually, I mean,
Everyone who looks under a certain age is 12. That's just how it works.
if Andrew is 17, then Ben is 12.
How?
Because I said so.
I look 22. Do you know? Fox, do you actually know how old I am?
Me?
'Cause that is an interesting guest.
Oh, or
Guest even.
I know how old you are.
Fox.
But
Yeah.
I need a name for this monster.
a name for this monster. A name for this monster besides Corso.
Yeah, this creature.
Besides Corso.
This adorable bean
I like how I
bunny.
said Corso and quotate like Corso. Like
Uh,
I want to do something like the Magnificent or the what is it? Lofty and King-like.
Lofty and King-like.
King-like. There's a word.
More so.
Oh, it's just more so.
More so.
what's that?
Magnanimous.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Lofty and King-like. Copy. So something the Magnanimous.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, no, that does sound good. I do like that.
So what are we going to call that? What's a good name for a rabbit folk? Now becomes the real bane of everyone of a DM's existence is naming things.
Naming.
Yeah, names.
It's like the BBEG of D&D is the scheduling, but the BBEG of DMs,
Mini boss is
like
naming.
Yeah, like the mini boss is naming things.
Yeah. Oh man, now I want to make a Cellar of Madness challenge where that's the theme. Is it's like very meta D&D, and the 5th level is a creature that can't name things, and the 10th level is just scheduling. All it does is send people off to work and stuff.
Oh my
You have to complete a
god.
bunch of puzzles in order to get the key.
Oh,
I
I
did
love
have a
that.
bunch of minions here, but I told
Sketched
them to
them
be
all the day
here.
off.
They could, yeah. You caught me on the wrong day, guys.
You
God.
got me on the wrong day.
There's a floor of like over prepped and then a floor of like under prepped,
Oh god.
where it's just all random encounters. It's like random rolls.
Oh,
It's
that
like you
Yeah.
open up the door and random monster.
watching a DM try to DM that would be really funny, actually.
I actually, it's funny because what I want to do is I want to have, like, I want Baxter Cellar Madness to be kind of like a more serious kind of PvP thing. But then I was talking about someone, I'm like, but what if either on the show on different episode for different kinds of episodes, or a different show that's the same concept is it's MXC.
Yes.
It's just D&D MXC.
Yes. So when you're making a creature and you're putting in the numbers, how do you normally base what like numbers you're giving them?
So first I pick the challenge rating.
Okay.
That's like the place you start. Even though the book kind of tells you to like pick a challenge rating, but you're not gonna keep it. We're gonna change this later. It's like no, we're gonna keep the challenge rating. And then when you do challenge rating, you basically do an offensive and a defensive challenge rating. So you'll be like, all right, this creature has this much hit points and this much AC. You compare it to the chart. And then you're like, okay, cool. It's this level. It's a challenge rating 12. And then you're like, all right, it does this much damage a turn and has this to hit, or DC, whichever you're using as, like if it's a spellcaster, DC, or if they're going to do a lot more like stuff where DC saving throws are going to be more relevant. You just kind of pick based on the monster you're doing.
Sure.
And then you go like, all right, yeah, it does this kind of damage, so it's a challenge rating 8 offensively. And then you just half those and combine them. So I like to pick one to kind of be like my baseline. Because if I'm like, oh, I want this monster to be tougher, then I know like, okay, it's going to do less damage. So you can start designing challenge rating around that level and start like playing with the numbers at that level.
Yeah.
And then the big thing that you can modify really easily is their ability scores.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're like, oh, I need this monster to do more damage, you just give it more strength. And then all you have to do is line up the numbers. If you're like, oh, I want it to do this much damage a turn, it's like, all right, well, I guess I'll give it a +3. And then it's like going into any dice and figuring out what the average on dice are, and then just writing them down.
Fair enough.
But yeah, once you get like, reading it and doing it, it always sounds harder than it is until you get good at it, and you can just like blitz it because it's just look at chart, look at other number in chart, done, rinse and repeat. And then it's like once you've got that baseline in, then it's just playing with the numbers in a way like, oh, I need my challenge rating to go. I need to do a little less damage. All right, how do I do that? Maybe I take an attack away. But a lot at that point, it's a lot not numbers. It's a lot just like problem solving, which most GMs are good at.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing with CR is a lot of people like look at it and they're like, I don't know how to number. I'm like, you don't actually have to. It's not numbers, I swear. Like, it's actually like D&D. It's like 20% numbers and 80% problem solving.
Yeah, improv.
Yeah, exactly. And then it's just like making things up. It's like, oh, I need this creature to do more damage. It's like, all right, it has an ability where it deals an extra 3 damage on its first attack a turn. Why? Because I needed the 3 damage. I needed its attack to do. I needed to do 3 more damage a turn. That's it. That's all. That's the whole shtick.
That's the whole shtick.
It's just lying.
That's all I need.
Yeah, it's just lying.
So it's just DMing. Cool.
Yeah, exactly. Challenge rating is just like everything else. The points are made up and the numbers don't matter.
Exactly. I think I love that because that's not where it's from. It's not D&D. It's whose line is it anyways? But it's such a fitting statement. It's so fitting.
Yep.
Just trying to decide. I think I want this guy to be a little more durable, so I'm gonna have him at like a challenge rating, like 11. What do we want to get? 8.5. So like half of 11 is 5.5. So that would give us a challenge rating 6 for damage output. That seems reasonable.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
So like if 11, he's gonna have 221 to 235 hit points, and an AC of 17 in theory. Oh, that's doable
someone
actually.
gifted a sub. That's really nice of you. A ninny mouse. Someone anonymously gifted.
I think it's Anon iMouse. I think you're. Or Iris? I think you're
No,
saying
it's
the name.
definitely a Ninny Mouse. 100%.
And then the mouse. And then the mouse. This is how we
Anon
actually
iMouse. Moose. This is how you make names up.
This is how you actually
See,
name
this
things.
is what we name our rabbit. We name them Anonymous.
We name them Anonymous.
Anonymous, the magnanimous.
Anonymous.
That is a mouthful. It's great because, as all DMs know, you have to make your names mouthfuls.
Yeah, you do though.
Mm.
So it was so funny because one of my NPCs I had not created a name for, and I was like, oh no. And one of the girls went up to him and asked. No, one of the girls went up to him and asked, oh, what was your name again? Because I thought they were just going to buy something from them, and they asked their name, and I was like, oops. I named him David. He is a halfling. It makes zero sense. He is a halfling in a town that should not have a name that goes by David. It's great. It's
fine. He's just secretly the BBEG.
So figuring out the ability scores.
Best friends with Chris.
Chris. God damn it.
Chris.
Okay.
But
so
yeah, for
figuring out
things, so
ability
like plugging in
scores.
things, like I'm doing the con score right now, and basically what I did is the chart says if I want the challenge rating to be an 11, it's got to be 221 to 235. And now you can just do whatever you want with the numbers. I am extra anal about it, and my cat stats have to line up with everything. I want someone to look at the monster and be like, yes, they have this much extra hit points from their con score. And their hit points are this, and the average is this. And I'm just, you don't have to do that. You can just look at the chart and be like, I want these numbers, I want this score, I want to do this. You don't have to go through the extra steps of actually figuring out all the dice rolls and like the specific numbers to get there. You can just do whatever you want. But I'm the kind of person who's like, I want to give this to another DM and then be able to read it and it makes sense.
Yeah. Which makes sense.
And also, ADHD autistic brain, it can't handle it. It's just like, no, we do it all.
We do it all.
We do it all by the book right now.
So like the average of, it's a D8 because it's a medium-sized creature, and that's just what they get for hit dice. That's just what the book says. Sometimes some things are just the rules say so. And so I just pulled up Any Dice, which is a sweet site that does dice averages and dice results. And I'm like, what is the average of 40 D8? And they're like 180. I'm like, cool. 180 plus 40 makes 220, which is in my range, I think. If I'm not. No, it's 1 out of my range. All right. Don't tell anyone.
The secret is safe with stream.
Exactly. No one clip this.
It's
Nobody.
It's 41 D8 now. There. Now it works.
Now it makes sense.
See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm like, that doesn't quite work. I'll just add 1 die.
A singular die.
Yeah. Now it's now instead of him having, it having 40 hit die, it has 41 hit die. Doesn't matter. It just makes my head feel good and it works.
Yeah.
And then because I'm like, that's 184. It's like, well, 41 would be, 225. I think. Yeah, that math sounds right. So I'll just give it a con score of 13, which gives it a +1, which is, or look, my numbers line up. Crazy.
Crazy.
The numbers. What do you got there? Numbers?
How do you get their numbers?
225. And then you can just kind of do that for everything. I'm not going to do all of it on stream because it is a lot of like tedious numbering, but it's like, all right, I want the creature to do this much damage a turn. It's a melee beater. Okay, cool. It's a large creature. It's going to have a great axe. So it does 1d12. And it's like, cool. Well, I needed to do this much damage. I'll give it this many attacks. Oh, that's not quite enough. I'll give it less attacks and I'll give it like a +5 to strength. And now it does an extra +5 damage. And then it's just a lot of problem solving the numbers. Because Games Workshop, wrong company that I'm angry at.
Okay.
Wizards of the Coast gave us rules for this that are actually pretty good if they used them. Yeah. I still love that. I just love going through and randomly testing a monster that I'm looking at and being like, is this CR right? No, it's not. Okay.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, and then some poor DM who's new plugs it in like, oh, this would be a great challenge and gets punked.
Yeah. I think that's a folly of a lot of new DMs too. Is they're like,
it happened.
Yes, this makes sense, and then it does not.
Yeah, I had that in one of my games. I've basically come to the conclusion now that when making encounters, especially through the D&D Beyond encounter builder, you got to make it just deadly, and then it's balanced.
Yeah.
which is worrying
Yeah,
when it comes up and it's like, yeah, so deadly, like they'll die. Cool, that's balanced.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What? No.
I mean, the big thing is to remember is that they're. I hate the wording on that. They need to. I don't care what else they do for 6th edition. They change the wording on encounters because the implication is an easy encounter will be easy, a medium encounter will be medium, a hard encounter will be hard, and a deadly encounter will kill you. What it actually is how much resources do you need to burn to overcome this encounter? So a deadly encounter, you could use everything and someone might still die. Not the whole party, one person. A hard encounter, you need to use some resources. But if you pop like a couple of short rests and maybe a big spell slot, like a 5th level spell, whatever level you're at, like whatever your max level spell slots are, you'll dummy it. But you'll use those resources for later. It goes back to that whole like 8 to 12 encounters in a day thing. And it just don't make sense. Most of my bosses, I look at the difference between a hard encounter and deadly. So like if it was like 2,000 and the 3,000, and I cap my deadly encounters at 4,000.
Yeah.
So like it's like, I mean, again, you got to finagle experience because again, you're trying to use points on a game that is a lot of dice. It's a lot of dice and it's a lot of weird balancing. But yeah, the actual challenge rating system makes sense. And then when you go to encounter build, it's like this is a completely different monster.
Yeah. It's
Wizards, please.
Wizards, please.
I feel like that's just going to be the shout out for a lot of this stuff. What saving throws is this character proficient in?
Ooh.
So this is sort of stuff you just get to pick. Wisdom?
I'd say wisdom
like,
and dex.
I was also thinking dex because
I was going to throw charisma at them too.
I can see charisma. They're a magician.
Yeah, I feel like int, con, strength, like their strength score is going to be pretty poopy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conditioned immunities. I mean, they're going to have legendary resistances because they're a boss.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
But like, should they have some conditioned immunities? Blinded, charmed, deafened, exhaustion, frightened, grappled, incapacitated, invisible, paralyzed, petrified, poisoned.
Charmed because
possibly, yeah.
I just don't want my villain getting charmed. I mean, I have like a staple. I'm like, oh, it's a bad guy. Cool, you're me to all these things.
Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't get to where they are for no reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though he's a magician, he worked hard to get there.
He worked hard to get here. Now he's a bat. Now he's a BBEG. Now he worked real hard.
He worked so hard. Imagine working so hard to be a magician and you become a BBEG.
Like, yeah, I don't need to have any condition immunities. Yeah, this is a bard in our party. Okay, immune to charm, immune to charm, immune to charm.
Immune to charm.
I'm gonna make frightened too. I just feel like I'm picturing like a really strength of character, like really flashy kind of persona, and like it's a real one. It's not fake. They have that. They actually that real. Like they've got that strength of character to just be like, you can't, darling. I charm you.
It's like,
okay. Hey, so you beat the BBEG, right? No, he's my wife now.
I mean, a lot of my TikTok content is making fun of simping and dragons, because that's really.
But have you considered simping over a rabbit?
Have you considered simping over a rabbit? I'm just waiting to make this character and like go through all the steps and have one of my players be like, "God damn it, you are not making me simp for a rabbit man." I am. It's really funny.
I am though, but you are. You are.
Yeah, you are currently simping. Do not lie to me. I see you.
He's not just a rabbit. He's a magic rabbit. There's difference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He can do jazz hands.
He can do jazz. That's where it comes in. It was the jazz hands that got them all along.
It's the jazz.
It's the jazz hands for me.
I just love that the jazz hands. So their mage hand are actually 2 hands, and they're doing jazz hands, and then they like do stuff. They're like, "Thank you."
Amazing.
I love this character.
It's so much fun. And then I've just got the 8C at 17 because I don't need to change it. I have no reason to. It'll just be natural armor or something. Make up some reason why it's that. If you want to give your bad guy magic armor, you can do that and just be like, "Hey, they have this magic armor. That's why their AC is so high." Like,
that's fair.
Oh no, he has magic hide armor.
Magic hide armor.
Yup.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, okay.
I love this character so much. I swear, every stream we make something I just love every time.
Yup.
It's a great show concept. It's just like, what if we just hung out with some cool people and did some cool stuff,
Something
some random stuff.
But if you do kill up this character, he has to drop magical rabbit's foot, 100%.
What if he just dropped carrots?
As an item. All that.
Oh, he has to drop a ton of cool magic items. But I think I want to give a rule that's like magical escape, where it's like if he drops his area hit points, he just pieces it. Oh, he has contingency cast on himself. Wait.
Oh.
Can you teleport contingency? You can dimension door contingency.
Oh my god, he just needs to spell jump. Gone.
Oh god.
But yeah, I mean, that's another thing. This is just a random aside. This has nothing to do with challenge rating, but like I love using contingency and just having on my villain. Like, oh, I drop below certain hit points? Cool, I dimension door. I think you can dimension door contingency. Yeah, that's less than a level 5 spell, I think.
Yeah, I do something similar. It's like, oh, they're your BBEG. You don't get to kill them off that easy. Like, no.
Yeah.
Especially when you have a reoccurring villain. Like, okay, yeah, this is your first time. Like with Strahd, he shows up, he messes around. Like, he messes with the party, and then he leaves. Like,
yeah.
At least depending on how you're DMing Strahd.
Yeah. I mean, my Strahd just showed up and messed with the players constantly. Oh, not in this campaign. This is a different.
Right.
But when I ran versus Strahd, the best part of playing that campaign is just getting to run around as a badass villain and just show up, and the party's like, "Oh God!" And you're like, "I'm just gonna mess with you for a little while and then leave." Like he's just a DM self-insert character.
I think that's important for character. Like when you're creating a BBG or a villain or anything, they don't have to be a one and done. Like you can just be like, oh no, they're reoccurring.
But the thing you have to remember with Strahd, right, is that whilst you can show up and be scary and all that, you've always got that one trump card that you can hold over him. He's a simp.
He's a simp.
Yeah, rewrite your Strahd because the base Strahd is kind of boring. It's kind of creepy and kind of boring. If you want a just absolute bad guy, sure. But I find it more fun to make him actually tragic. Because I know a lot of people make him a tragic character, and it's like, yeah, all right, you need to rewrite his backstory to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's also important to say is it's okay to rewrite your villains. If you're
like,
100%. Wow, like I have not liked the direction they've gone or anything else, it's okay. Change things. It's all right.
Yeah.
Your party's not going to know unless you like completely 180 his personality suddenly, but
yeah.
Little changes are okay.
So I've just published it because I'm just leaving it here for now. But apparently it's too similar to the alchemical homunculus right now.
Oh,
to be publishable. I don't. What?
The what? That's
yes.
okay.
Our magic rabbit is too similar.
Bigby's hand.
We have not come up with a name for this character, at least a first name.
You know what? It's really funny. I hit save, and then it popped me into like the view screen, and it just says the Magnanimous, and I'm like, that's kind of maybe that's just the name is the Magnanimous.
Maybe that's just how it goes.
Yep.
I feel like he has
call them Meg, and they get mad.
Yes,
They're like,
he has a real name that's just super, just
basic.
Like basic.
So that's what it goes by.
Like a super basic. Just call him Flopsy. Like that's not my name. No. Like it is. You're so cute. No.
Flopsy.
No.
Bigby's hand. How much damage do you do around Bigby's hand? Are you a bonus action or an action?
Bigby's hand, more like magical
Bonus
rabbit's foot.
Yeah.
Oh.
The magnanimous magical rabbit's foot.
Get crushed by a giant rabbit's foot.
The most damage it deals.
How much damage does he put out then?
That's what I'm trying to. So 48 is he's kind of his base thing is going to be 48 damage. So it'll be to calculate spells because sometimes you burn spells. You do the average over 3 turns. So you do the most damage they could deal on 3 turns. So like if you have a really scary BBEG spellcaster who's like Meteor Swarm.
Meteor Swarm? Never heard of that spell.
Meteor Swarm, Disintegrate. Not Power would kill. What's the other like high damaging spell? It's not Disintegrate. It insta kills you though. Finger of Death.
Oh,
so you're like, yeah, they've got these 3 spells. They do these 3s in a turn. You're just gonna average out the damage they do. For AOE spells, I usually just assume 2 people get hit and fail their saving throw. So 2 people take full damage or 4 people take half, which is a pretty reasonable expectation.
Yeah.
Meteor Swarm's a little different, but like at level 20 also, like you don't need to help your players out. They're gods now. They need to be able to take on gods.
You're right. I mean, you are correct. This Meteor Swarm is ridiculous.
Yeah, but like Power Word Kill also exists.
There's some
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I have a rule where like before level 5, I go out of my way not to kill you. Like this is me putting the saving gloves on, and it makes sense for the bad guys to do something they don't. Like Fireball would hit you and you're unconscious. It's just gonna not hit you. It'll position to not hit you. 5 to 14, the monsters aren't trying to kill you, other than like maybe the occasional monster. But like, if you're caught in the fireball while you're unconscious, you're caught in the fireball while you're unconscious. It happens.
Yeah.
15 plus is where I'm like, Power Word Kill is online now. The bad guys know what the fuck you are, and they are going to not just put you down, they're going to kill you. If they knock you down, they're going to give you the 3 death saves right there. The dragon is going to gobble you up if they can. And that's when Power Word Kill came on. And the first encounter my party had at 15, I Power Word Killed the one player who was below 100. They had 97 hit points. Like that's their maximum hit points right now is 97. I was just like, Power Word Kill. They're like, excuse me? I'm like, Power Word Kill. You have less than 100 hit points, you're dead. And they're like, okay. And then I got Revivified because they're a party of 15 level characters with Revivify and diamonds everywhere. So
yeah, like that's the whole thing. You have to keep in mind there's all of this other stuff that they can do to counteract that stuff. So while it sounds really bad, you're like, also.
Yeah, but at this level, also Counterspell exists.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you can have, well, not yet. Soon though, you can have Power Word Kill, which is 100% a spell I take at 9th level. I'm like, people like wish. I'm like, no. It's so funny. I just everyone else is unconscious or dead, and you're just standing there with the BBEG. It's just like, you got anything left? And you're like, yeah. Avada Kedavra, and they just fall over.
Avada Kedavra.
All right. So this character will deal 18 damage. This is just with Bigby's hand on the first round, and then 18 damage with Bigby's hand subsequently as a bonus action. So it's plus 18 on every other for the next. So that's 30. That's actually a lot more damage than I thought it was going to be. That might be their only their main damage output. The rest of their damage might be pitiful in order to balance that.
Just a big old foot just slamming down.
Yeah, just getting. I picture the like clenched fist. Instead of a clenched fist, it's just slapping them. Like it's just bitch slapping you. The foot's just like big comic book sound effects, everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, Bigby's hand is 54 damage turn on its own. Which puts us at challenge rating 8 actually. So that's right in the range.
Now that you've mentioned comic book, I just need a villain now that is literally like he's a spellcaster, but he's always wanted to be a comic book villain. So whenever he hits you, it as a reaction casts like a magical illusion that just comes up and just says "pow."
We're gonna have to do that.
He has a magic item. He just has a magic item that does it for him. So when they finally get to kill him, the players can have that item.
Oh my god, that would be ridiculous.
I need it. That would be so good.
Magical loot you could drop.
Yeah.
I love that.
It's so good.
So yeah, I mean, damage output is just figuring out the average damage, either a turn or over 3 turns if it changes, which it could help this character. I'm just gonna give this guy like a really basic, like melee and range attack, probably just daggers. Like basically, he's gonna have like infinite daggers that are cards instead of knives for flavor.
Makes sense, yes.
But it'll be like really low damage output just because I'm happy with the damages. And then it's like +7 to hit. It'll have a +7 to hit easy. So that puts it at a 9 challenge rating. Offensive, and what did I think it was? What did it end up being? 11 challenge rating defensive. So half those to 5.5.
Perfect.
So that actually puts it at a 10, which is a little bit higher than I want.
Oh.
And so you adjust.
So the easiest way to reduce that is going to be to just reduce the AC.
Fair.
And that'll reduce the defensive challenge rating and therefore reduce the overall challenge rating. Again, you don't even have to understand numbers. You just have to be able to read a table. And it's D&D. We can all read tables. Or like 95% of us can.
Yeah.
This is true.
You can't read a table, get someone to help you with challenge rating. But yeah, with challenge rating, it's HP determines the defensive, and then offensive is determined by damage per round, and then it's modified by AC or to hit /DC, depending on if you're a spellcaster or not. So in this case, and it's a difference of 2. So like the AC is normally 17 for the challenge rating set. If I make it 15, it reduces the challenge rating by 1, and that's just because the book says so.
Because the book says so.
Because they're like, we designed the system and this is how it works.
Thank you, book.
Thank you, Buck. Thank you, DM's Guide. We appreciate you. I don't actually own one, which is funny. Like, I'm just like, I don't own any of the books. I have everything digital.
I know. I own a couple of the books that most of my stuff is digital as well.
I have a couple of books. Yeah, I have a couple of books now, and then I keep wanting to every time there's like a sale, even when it's like 10% off, I'm like, oh, man, I could buy the legendary bundle. I could do it. I could commit and I could do it. Give me all of them. Give me all the source books.
I own all of them. I have everything on D&D Beyond except Rick and Morty.
Oh, really?
Except
Yeah, I got a coupon code that worked with the legendary bundle discount.
Nice.
And then it was just like, there was a number of coupon codes that had come out, and because I'd already bought some stuff, it was really easy to buy the rest.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, I just own it now, I guess. And then I just kept buying the source books.
I
I'm
just
like, well,
did portions too. So we have about 12 minutes left. So is there anything with this character else that we need to mention?
I don't know. They're pretty sick.
What
I'm a
is
fan
that
of the name.
tragic backstory?
Magnanimous. I mean, I like the idea that they tried to be a magician, and then they almost made it, and then something went wrong, and they're like, I gotta make ends meet. Maybe they have a family, and they're just trying to take care of their family. Like, they're not a bad person. They're just like, I just gotta. Yeah.
Family.
Yeah.
So they're just like, but it's a huge family because they're rabbits.
The rabbits. It only makes sense.
So it's like, well, I gotta take care of my family. So they turn to crime, but they try to avoid doing like really awful crime, which is why they're like,
I don't get paid in gold. I get paid in carrots.
That's why he does jazz hands and everything else. He's not trying to harm you.
That's why he's like a lot of trying to like distract people and just like get in, get out, get away. Yeah, and he's good at it apparently because he got hired to help make the Cellar of Madness.
Yeah, apparently he's really good at it. His reputation
so we'll see how he does on Tuesday.
That's gonna be wild.
Yeah. I might have to adjust the dungeon to account for the fact that this guy's he's not as hard as planned, like challenger, like damage output was, but he's just gonna be obnoxious. He's gonna be so good at running down the clock. I might actually replace the instead of having a mini boss, just have him twice.
That would make sense to me.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
He just gets to like that threshold and then just gone.
Yeah, and he's just like, I leave. He's like, the key's yours. Well, on the 5th floor, I mean, he could pick up the key because again, like I said, you can keep trolling your bosses.
This is true.
So the initiative happens at a set time. Bosses go at 20. Minion or what did I call them? Grunts and then minions? I don't know. Like challenge rating 4 or less creatures go at 15. CR1 and less monsters go at 10. And then traps that are not triggered, like you walk over and trigger the trap, like there's like a magic missile trap it's just a turret that fires magic missile, are at 5. And then the players roll their own initiative just to keep it fast. There's a lot of like streamlining, like all the doors have the same challenge rating or like the same DCs to kick down, open, unlock if they're locked. All of the there's like 6 different traps that are all set, so it's meant to be very streamlined, which would be nice when I get Foundry up and running and a lot of that's automated.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be so much fun, and I did not expect that would just make something like, let's just make something kind of challenging. We're like, no. New BBEG.
This is what happens on this show is that we always just make something wacky and crazy. I mean, so far first show we made a bunch of like cool, fun NPCs. Second game we were like town of flumps.
We made flump.
Right. It's like we were like, oh, we'll make some NPCs. No, it's an entire town that's just flumps.
Yep.
And it's super wholesome.
And
then we made this.
And I've loved every moment of it.
Oh, it's been so good. This is great.
I want so I've just came up with a name for the like DMs like ranking list, but it's not perfect. I want to do something like Baxter's Rogue Gallery, but make it a slight modification of that because it's like Batman's Rogue Gallery or Spider-Man's Rogue Gallery.
I love that.
And then that's the leaderboard. And then the hero one can be something really obvious and silly because whatever.
Because whatever. Right.
Heroes.
Heroes.
It's all about the villains.
You're right.
Right?
Oh, this will be great. So you are running this Remind our audience when you're done with.
Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I will be doing a test run of this. It won't be the official show that's all fancy. It'll be a stream. It'll be live. It'll have a party and me as the DM doing the test run, and then next week,
Where you
or the
will
week after,
see
the
our
30th.
favorite bunny boy.
But you will see our new favorite bunny lad bouncing around and just making making the two Patricks and Dice Knight's Day just hilarious.
They're gonna love it.
Yep.
They're gonna
It's
hate
gonna
it.
be a
They
lot
love
of
it.
fun.
It's
They're
gonna
gonna
be
hate it. They're gonna
Oh,
love
it's gonna be a riot.
They're just gonna be prepared for this like really tough BBG, and then it's just a rabbit.
It'll be a really good challenge for them because the whole point is to try and like throw them different things, like throw different curveballs at them to practice
Yeah.
volleyball. And like having a character that's just impossible to pin down and is just gonna run around with the ball seems like something they'll need to deal with. So
You're right.
Yo.
So we
So
can
it'll be-
find Andrew over at BaxterAndAndrew on Twitch.
Yeah.
Our other reminders are me and Ben are on Beyond the Realms on Monday, where we will be fighting the
Mhm.
Frost Maiden, and hopefully
Oh boy.
we'll not die. We'll see. We'll see. I
I don't want Farrell to die, but I kind of want Farrell to die because I know what
get
you're
you.
I'm gonna
I
die.
get you. You're not.
like I know what's gonna happen. I just
Additionally,
I don't,
Melee
and I am
Ball-
concerned.
Melee Ball has started their Kickstarter, so make sure I am going. Say Ben,
well, the Kickstarter starts Monday, but
It
you can
starts
sign up
Monday,
for the
but you can sign up for the
pre
pre.
check-in.
Ben, if you will drop the link for me again in the chat, since I don't have it open. Additionally, Melee
Ooh.
Madness starts on Monday as well. So watch on Lark Network, where you can see 24 different teams compete to see who is the best Melee Ball team. It's going to be
It's gonna be the team I coached.
it's gonna be wild, and all of the proceeds are going to charity. So if you show up, support, give to charity, it's a great time. It'll be a lot of fun. You'll get to see a lot of people. But additionally, is there anything else you'd like to plug, Andrew? Thank you, Ben.
I mean, I have I mean, check me out on my on TikTok and Twitch. Right now, my shows are Houses of Barovia is a Curse of Strahd campaign that's been really, really fun. We're just getting to the 5th session, and things are about to blow up. So that's Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I do subclass tune-up, Baxter subclass tune-up, where we take a subclass that people have complained about or want more flavor or more powerful or a bit of both, and we beef that up. That's Mondays at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Till 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so it rolls really nicely into both Melee Ball and Beyond the Realms.
So
Like,
you can show up and watch
right?
those, and then just
yeah, you just watch that and then jump right into that and
Yeah.
hear me screaming at them in chat.
yeah.
And then of course the Baxter's Cellar of Madness Challenge, which will be
Yes.
Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And next Tuesday you can see our wonderful Floppy Boy
No,
trying
I can't wait.
Floppy
I can't
Boy.
wait.
interfere with the party as they try to be the first to put their names on the hero board.
It's gonna be wild.
It's gonna be
It's
the
gonna be-
concept is already wild. It's Ultimate
concept-
Ninja Warrior for D&D, and it's
See-
like, what if magician rabbit villain who's running it?
Whenever I think of this character, and because it's a very tall character as well, all I can think of is the Easter Bunny from Legend of the Guardians, but just as a magician.
Oh,
Nope,
God.
headcanon accepted. No, it's not even headcanon. It's canon. It's our
It's
character.
canon.
Canon.
That's just how
That's it.
This is he's the Easter Bunny.
Oh.
It's a side gig for him.
He's got a lot of mouths to feed. So like,
He really does.
villain on the main days, Easter Bunny on during the spring.
One of the rewards you get for beating him is its Easter eggs, and it's like, why? It's not even that time of year. What?
Perfect.
God,
So
it's so frustrating.
we are going to end this stream. We are, however, going to go raid Dinner in a Game because they have been supporting us. So
I
we are
love
going
that.
to go raid them real quick since they are live. And
Heck yeah.
we do not have the rectification this next Friday, so we will be doing a one shot of some sort instead with me DMing. So still be here next
Mhm.
Friday. Additionally, we'll be here on Dice Cream on Monday with me and Ben. So
Yeah.
with all of that, we'll see you hopefully for Melee Ball on Monday. And I'm gonna raid these guys. Perfect.
Yeah.
All
Log
right.
back into Twitch so I can be dragged in with the raid.
Yes. All right. Perfect. Have a good rest of your evening, you guys.
Bye, friends.
Bye.